Am I the a-hole for refusing to tell my husband the gender of our baby after he skipped going to the doctor appointment with me? Original story. My husband and I are expecting. This is our first baby, and we're excited. The thing is, he barely attends any of the doctor appointments with me, and his excuses aren't even valid. He's willing to miss the doctor appointment over soccer or a drink or board game with friends. His response is always, "I'm not the one carrying the baby. Why do I have to go see the doctor with you?" Last week was my final straw. He was supposed to come with me for the baby's gender reveal appointment, but he chose to not come at the last minute because his friend invited him to fish and chips. I was pretty livid but didn't make a fuss about it. Mom went with me instead. He texted me asking me to tell him the results, boy or girl, but I refused to tell him. He kept spam calling me, but I hung up each time. He came home fuming, demanding I tell him the results, but I refused and bluntly told him since he refused to attend the appointment, then he gets no results till after the baby's born, and said I was willing to die on this hill. He went off calling me spiteful and immature for doing this and punishing him. He said he's the father and has a right to know. He then called me dramatic since I wasn't alone and Mom was with me. I said he gets no results, period. He's been fuming about it and told his family, and they're now pressuring me to stop playing mind games with him and tell him, but I declined. Am I the a-hole? And now for the advice before reading the update. Not the a-hole, already a deadbeat dad before the baby is even born. I would drop a friend if I found out they prioritize fish and chips over their wife and baby's doctor's appointment. To be clear, this is not a gender reveal appointment. It is a full anatomical scan-in, which they check every organ and limb for potential issues, and as a side note, can also often tell you which genitals the baby has. So partner is not just skipping a gender reveal, but leaving their pregnant partner to attend a lengthy appointment on their own, during which they could possibly receive concerning information about the development of their baby if there are issues. It's often during the scan that they are discovered. Partner is incredibly selfish and showing their true colors, absolutely not the a-hole. This right here, this is the scan where you learn if the baby has a congenital defect. He should have been there because there could have been some bad news, not the a-hole, OP. OP really needs to consider if she wants to be married to this man. Right? It's like he doesn't even care about his child, doesn't want to hear the baby's heartbeat, find out everything about them. Since the mom is carrying the child, the only way the father can know the information and be involved is to go to the doctor's appointments. Now for the small update, edit/update. Hi, so first of all, wow, I did not expect this to blow up. Sorry, can't answer any comments because of feeling overwhelmed. I just wanted to mention that my husband just attempted to contact my doctor to get the results. It didn't go well, and we had another argument over it. He couldn't get it since his mom was the one who made the call. Story 2, update. Am I the a-hole for wanting to divorce my husband for wanting a son? Original story. I, 27 female, have been with my husband, 29 male, for 5 years, married for 3 of those years. Our marriage was perfect, and we were so happy. It felt like our entire life was perfect. Church on Sunday, loving husband, beautiful home, all of it. A few months into our marriage, I became pregnant, and my husband and I were overjoyed, and so was the rest of our family. My husband was especially happy after finding out our baby was a boy, as he had always told me he wanted at least one son. I even started to try to attempt to repair my relationship with my mother so our son could have a relationship with his grandparents. I had originally cut off most contact with my mother due to how she treated my brother when he married his husband, though my brother said he was all right with my decision to try to get her back in my life since he still has love for her and my baby was her first grandchild. However, our son ended up stillborn and it broke me. I fell into depression and even at one point considered taking my life. But my husband was there for me during all of it, and we got through the grief. Our family felt stronger than ever, and life started slowly feeling beautiful again, even if it no longer felt perfect. About 5 months ago, I found out I'm pregnant again, and then found out soon afterwards that we're having triplets. My husband and I were over the moon, and he was doing most of the doting and loving and being a wonderful husband. Since we've always said that we wanted 2 to 3 children, we agreed we wouldn't try for any more children after this. Because of our and our family's excitement for the triplets, we decided to throw a baby shower and gender reveal party. We trusted my brother with the genders of the triplets, and he bought some confetti cannons and the colored streamers inside. The baby shower went wonderfully with my parents, in-laws, and my brother and his husband and their daughter, and tons of friends and extended family. It was like a dream come true, and I was so excited for the gender reveal. I don't care what the gender of our babies are, I just want healthy little babies. But my husband was clearly excited for potentially 3 sons. When the time came, me, my husband, and my brother all shot confetti cannon, and all 3 shot pink confetti. I was so excited, and so was my brother, but my husband screamed at the top of his lungs and hit the table in front of us, hitting it so hard that it actually broke. He screamed at me that I was supposed to give him at least 1 son because I killed his first one. That's when I burst into tears. I had been so broken up about our son's stillbirth, and a part of me had felt it was my fault. And now he, my husband, was the love of my life, telling me that it was. My brother immediately stepped in and tried to get my husband to calm down, but my husband shoved my brother. So my brother instead pulled me inside, where I cried in the living room, while my husband's mother tried to calm him down. I could hear him screaming outside about how 3 daughters is too many, how he doesn't want 4 kids, but he also wants a son. Ever since that moment, my husband has hardly talked to me. He's been sleeping in the guest room, and when we do interact, he's clearly upset and mad and tries to argue with me. I tried to talk to him about it and asked about how he'll be with our 3 daughters, but he spat at me and told me he will provide for them shelter and food, but he isn't interested in daughters and doesn't plan to have a close relationship with them. That sealed the deal that I wanted to divorce him, and I cried myself to sleep last night. Earlier today, I confided in my mother and mother-in-law about all of this, but they told me I can't divorce my husband just because he wants a son. I don't want my daughters to grow up in an unloving household where their parents constantly argue and their father doesn't love them. The moment my husband said I killed our son, I felt as though I lost all love I had for him in an instant, and I don't want my daughters to be in that kind of a household. However, both my mom and my mother-in-law say it's just natural for men to want sons, and that at least he isn't saying he will mistreat them. They treated this as an absolute fact and acted as though I'm just a silly little girl who doesn't know anything. I felt incredibly small and stupid. I don't know what to do. My mother and mother-in-law made me feel like maybe I'm overreacting to my husband's behavior. But my brother says this is not normal, as he and his husband are both men who absolutely love their daughter. I'm also not sure of what I'll do with myself. If I divorce my husband, I don't work, and I'm not sure how I'll be able to find a job that can support me and 3 babies all on my own, or how I'll make time for all of them when I have to work. I feel so lost and helpless. I'm torn on what to do because I worry divorce will be too brash of a decision and that maybe my mother and mother-in-law are right. Am I the a-hole? What should I do? Now for the update. I didn't expect to have an update so soon, but after reading everyone's comments, I decided to take action immediately and went to my brother's house. We talked for hours through the night and came up with a plan. I am going to divorce my husband. He's shown the kind of man that he is, and I don't want to live in or raise daughters in that kind of environment. I'm going to move in with my brother and brother-in-law during all of this. He and his husband have a nice large house where I can have my own room and a nursery for the triplets. I originally worried that perhaps myself and 3 babies would be overwhelming or a burden to him and my brother-in-law, but they assured me that they would love to have us here. I knew everything would be okay when my brother even offered to have a baby monitor put in their bedroom so he could help if more than one of the triplets woke up during the night. My brother-in-law has a nice high-paying job, and my brother works from home, so I will have a stable environment and my brother will help with his nieces. My own niece is excited for us to live with her. The current plan is I will live with my brother and brother-in-law for a while, and once my babies are old enough where I can feel comfortable putting them in daycare, which my brother-in-law has offered to pay for, then I can try to find a job of my own where I can save up money and eventually move into a nice place of my own with my daughters. I'm so thankful for my brother and brother-in-law. They truly feel like angels. My brother and I are also going to go no contact with my mother. My brother and I discussed her behavior with us growing up, how she treated him when he came out and also got married, and how she's treated me these past few days. We decided that this was the best course of action, as we've given her many chances in our lives to become more stable and kind, but she's always refused them, and we want our daughters to grow up in a loving family. When I knew my husband had left for church this morning, my brother-in-law and I went to my house and got all my important things such as documents, clothes, and things that are special to me, as well as all the baby things. My brother-in-law's mother watched my niece while we did all of this. She's a kind woman and has offered to be a grandmother to my own babies, which I happily accepted. I will admit that I cried. I've cried a lot lately, but mostly happy tears. Because my brother and I didn't go to church, my ladies' Bible study group texted me and asked if we were all right and if we needed anything. I texted them back and told them the truth of what had happened, and they were all horrified. They told me they would support me and are proud of me for taking action, and are now even planning a bake sale at the church to help raise money for me and my babies. Also, apparently my husband, when he got out of church to go to lunch afterwards with his men's Bible group, one of the other members is husbands to one of my friends in my Bible group, and when he found out what had happened, he yelled at my husband so much that he cried. I got a little bit of joy out of hearing about that, not going to lie. My pastor even called me and asked if I'm okay, and he let me know that I'll always have people who support me at my church, which I'm very grateful for. After my husband came home from church and saw that most of my stuff was gone, he blew up my phone. But my brother-in-law called him for me and said that he would pay for my husband to get therapy for his grief over our son, and also told him to leave me alone. My husband has not tried to contact me since, and he has yet to give my brother-in-law an answer for his therapy offer. All in all, I'm so grateful for my brother and brother-in-law. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without them. I'm hopeful for the future, and while this isn't the kind of future I imagine myself or my babies, this is definitely the best one I can currently give them. They say it takes a village, and my babies will definitely have a village full of love and support. Story 3. Confronted mother-in-law, and she retaliated by dragging sister-in-law into the middle of it and ruining our gender reveal. My partner and I are not legally married because we're not religious, but have been living like a married couple for years. We just don't get the tax break of being legally married. Mother-in-law has always been a problem. She is typically nice to my face and will tell me that she loves me and I'm part of the family, but then will trash talk me behind my back. She trash talks everything: my appearance, my parenting, my decorating, my cooking, etc. My boyfriend has confronted her before, but she denied it and told him I have no idea what she's talking about. I had no way to prove what she was saying, just what I heard when walking by or what my sister-in-law would tell me, so I let it go at the time. No point in pointing the finger when she is just going to deny it and I won't get an apology anyway. I'm pregnant with baby number 3 now. When told the family, both of his sisters were ecstatic. But mother-in-law just said, "Oh well, congratulations." So I've known from the start that she wasn't exactly enthusiastic about the pregnancy. I also felt like she was trying to wiggle her way into my relationship with my boyfriend. He would tell me after taking her to lunch or visiting that she was asking how our relationship was going, and to his credit, he shuts it down immediately and tells her it's none of her business. I expressed that I felt like mother-in-law was unhappy about the pregnancy because she wanted my boyfriend to leave me to my sister-in-law. She told me that while they were driving up to my place together to visit, she was saying things like, "I'm going to talk to him. I just feel like he needs to know he isn't stuck. And he needs to know he can always come home. She's a big girl and can fend for herself." When visited that day, I heard her kind of try to start the conversation, but again, boyfriend shut her down, so she never actually said it. After talking to my boyfriend and making sure that he didn't actually feel stuck with me, I told him that it was completely inappropriate for her to be saying that kind of thing. She is deliberately trying to hurt me and our relationship. He said he would talk to her, and he did. Again, mother-in-law denies everything. She texted me shortly after, acting sweet and asking me why my boyfriend would be asking her if she had an issue with me. I immediately confronted her about what she said and how she has been deliberately trying to get my boyfriend to leave me. I also confronted her about attempting to use my debit card without my permission. Again, denied everything. Just a few minutes after I sent that text, my poor sister-in-law called me crying and asking me what happened, because mother-in-law had come into her house and started screaming at her about her telling me what mother-in-law said. Sister-in-law is pretty pissed at me. I never mentioned her name and never intended for her to get dragged into the middle of it. I truly feel awful for that. Sister-in-law never did anything wrong. I found out not long after all this that mother-in-law texted the whole family to tell them I was having a girl. I found out because I got a lot of congratulatory messages from everyone, and they all confirmed the mother-in-law told them. She wanted to bake a gender reveal cake, so my boyfriend gave her the sealed envelope with the gender results and asked her not to tell anyone a few weeks ago. Clearly a mistake, but it's too late now and there won't be a party at all. I have blocked her on everything. I decided it was unfair to expect my boyfriend to do the same. She's been awful, but it is his mom, and ultimately it's up to him if he wants to go no contact. I'm not sure how to proceed with family gatherings like Christmas dinner coming up, since I do not want to associate with her anymore, just pretend like she doesn't exist. I also don't want her around my kids or the new baby after delivery, and I know my boyfriend will disagree with this. Now for the advice. I'd personally set up a group text to everyone she told the gender to and explain that she did this deliberately to hurt you and has breached your trust. You're so very hurt and just can't understand why she hates you so much. She'd be so deliberately spiteful to you and your partner to ruin a special moment. Then say that due to her actions, you won't be associating with her until she apologizes and displays changed behavior. Bring it out into the light. Shine that light so damn bright that there's no shadows of her to hide in to mask her evil BS. Call it out. By trying to punish you, she has also punished your DH and ruined the experience for him to let everyone know the gender of his baby. I hope he has told her this and boundaries will be put in place going forward. She would be the last person to find out any important information going forward. Someone's opinion of me is none of my business. You say your boyfriend shuts her down every time she tries to crap talk you when she clearly can't sabotage your relationship. You know who she is, so keep her at a distance, pay her no mind. You don't have to be religious to be married. I don't know where you live, but be aware that because you aren't married, should something happen to your boyfriend, she could attempt grandparents' rights. Story 4. My 48 female daughters, 25 and 27 female, stopped talking to each other over a man 3 years ago. I still don't know how to make things better. First, I will admit I showed a great deal of favoritism towards my youngest, Blair, 25 female, while growing up. It wasn't intentional, and by the time I realized my mistake, my oldest, Anna, 27 female, had grown so angry and resentful of her sister. My husband and I played a part in Anna's resentment, and though we tried, Anna never let us get close to her. We spoiled Blair, but we did try to do the best for Anna, but I can admit we fell short in some places. When Blair came home from her first year of college, she had a boyfriend, John. It was her first love, and Blair was so happy and excited. We were all happy for her except for Anna, but she said nothing to anyone. Life went on until Blair came home crying and accused Anna of sleeping with John. My husband and I didn't want to believe it, but Anna happily admitted to doing it. Worse, she never told Blair. It was back in Blair's first holiday from college nearly 2 years ago when Anna had slept with John. She never confessed and willingly let Blair continue to fall in love and move in and get attached to John. When we confronted her, she just said it wouldn't have hurt if Blair found out immediately, that she had hoped Blair found out only after John had proposed and even married her, that everything we had and Blair put her through, she wasn't going to leave us happy. Blair was heartbroken, and that night Anna left our house and never talked to us again. That was 3 years ago. Blair and John broke up, and the heartbreak deeply affected Blair's studies. Anna never contacted John either. Recently, one of my sister's daughters showed me a post on Facebook. It was Anna. Apparently she was married and expecting her first child. The post sent Blair into a rage fit. She kept cursing Anna and crying. It seems Anna had finished her studies, gotten a good job, and married a good man, if her posts were anything to go by, and now was having a baby. Anna seems to have it all sorted out, but she won't let us in on her life. While she purposely ruined Blair's and got away scot-free, Blair's thoughts, I feel so sad and conflicted. I want to see and make amends with Anna, apologize to her, but I can't leave Blair either. My daughters hate each other, all for a man who cared for neither. What do I do? How do I reconcile our family? Now for the advice. My daughters hate each other, all for a man who cared for neither. No, that's not the reason. It was because you failed Anna as parents. You created this rift between the sisters by favoring one child and dismissing the other. This is all on you. Yes, what she did was awful, but she wanted you to feel a portion of how she has been feeling her entire life. You have all hurt, and she took revenge because of all the pent-up pain and hurt and anger she has had. There is nothing you can do now except maybe start apologizing for Anna with a text for everything you did, and only time will tell if she would ever forgive you or even want to have any contact with you. If not, you respect this time and let her be happy with her own family. You have hurt her enough. This, OP, John was just a tool Anna used to hurt Blair. The problem was always the favoritism, and you're still choosing Blair. I would also ask, you care that you've not seen Anna in years, or is it that there's a grandchild that you have no access to? If you're not going for Anna, then leave her alone. Agreed. A lot of these comments are ridiculous. If Blair was the golden child, that's on the parents, not on her. Parents or caregivers are the ones that create these dynamics, not the children. I was the scapegoat, and my bro was the golden child in my family, and my dad's abuse was almost completely directed at me. Of course, I wish I was treated better, but I never wished my bro was treated worse or like me. I don't resent him for my dad's actions. The few times my dad said he was going to spank my bro, I had my bro hide in his room and put the dresser in front of the door, and I took the spankings, or I would tell him to run and put several pairs of underwear on as quickly as he could. Meanwhile, I got beat and choked and slapped plenty of times, or even worse, on a few occasions. I just can't ever see holding my brother at fault for what my dad did, let alone retaliating against him. That's all for today. Please check us out in the next video. Thank you.